Bro.
How you doing?
Oh, dude, we are live, local, and we got some shit going on.
I got a busy week, man.
Dude, yes.
But my wife has gone like all week, and so it's like got this like honeydew list that's building, and I had to be like, the whole week is pretty locked in.
Did she have like a video workshop on her list of things to do?
Yeah. I was like, I've got the workshop. We got the thing on Friday. We're doing a Real Producers thing. I've got shoots sprinkled in all through the week.
Shooting the promo.
We're shooting the RP promo. I think it's tomorrow for Real Producers.
Yes.
And then I've got a couple nice properties that I'm working on.
Right on
this week.
Oh, and then we have another listing that we could kind of do like a little field trip if we want to.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love. Yeah, if we can fit it in the schedule. It's right now. It's pretty packed. But how was your weekend?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you already know that so you got like a little tip of the iceberg teaser. So we've had so many things kind of finally coming together. It's a big barn, so to get all the way around the barn takes a while, but it is happening. And so we had the back-to-back RP masterclass last week, AI, which was awesome, phenomenal. And shout out to Ashley and Jordan and Lance to put all of that together, and it was
Wayne for emceeing.
Oh yes, and Wayne for emceeing.
It was cool because I got to stand up and talk a little bit about what we were doing at Studio USA, and we had Wayne emceeing, who does the Friday podcast. We had Ashley, who does Winning Women's Wednesday, and obviously is like plugged in everywhere.
And she was like the coordinator of the talent.
One of the sponsors was Cherry Creek Mortgage, where our Studio USA West is located. So it just like all kind of came together. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, it was like a really weird reunion.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, I feel like I'm talking to all my friends. Like,
yes. So one of the things, we actually printed flyers for the first time in ever for the subject matter expert, which kind of morphed out of the folks that want to have content. So like what we were doing for Acrisure, where they would come in and it would essentially be, okay, we have like a semi-scripted, or at the very least a bullet-pointed outline, and they wouldn't necessarily have enough gas in the tank or longevity for a podcast.
Yeah, you couldn't come in I don't got enough to come in every week, but I got something to say. Right. And I wanted that to be framed in a professional setting where it looks like I might have a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so the uninitiated might look at that and go like, oh, they were interviewed because they know what they're doing. And
exactly.
Which technically is true. It's just that it's not at some random show that plucked you out of obscurity. We're actually setting the table to do that and to make it. And so it's very intentional. So the flyer that we handed out that got a lot of I walked around afterward to kind of pick up the flyers, and it's like, holy shit,
we're out of flyers.
Yeah, it's like, wow, they took the flyers, which is good. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. But we had your agent friend that came in on Friday.
Oh yes, we had Rachel Wester. So for those of you that don't know Rachel, Rachel's with the Acquisto team. She's a Real Producer. She'll be featured, I think. RP
So I think
here in
Ashley just did her interview.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's amazing.
All the roads.
She's really done a good job of focusing her business around where she lives in Central Plano. So it's great because she gets to celebrate her community, and she knows every little thing about the places. And she finds that most of her houses are very similar. So like the same buyer, she kind of cross-pollinates between everything. And so we talked about some of her successes there. And that's the whole point of doing that type of subject matter expert interview. It's like, hey, 30 minutes and I can give you a bunch of really great pieces of content.
I forgot to look at how many that we got. I think it was 23.
Oh yeah, there were a ton, but I think we still there were a ton. I wouldn't use 100% of what was
well,
on
the
that
nice thing
docket,
about the nice thing of Opus in this case, as we kind of do this at different price points. So the $300 is basically the low bar of entry.
Yeah.
So you come in and we set the table. We figure out, like you said, her area of expertise and what she's good at, and the most comfortable situations for her as a professional. And so it's essentially like, hey, what do you talk about all the time?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here, right? Is we sit up, we kind of talk, and out of that first 4 or 5 minutes, we get so comfortable with having the conversation at the cameras that kind of fourth wall goes away, and we're just talking. About stuff they know.
And then we pan for gold. We pull the gold out.
I love that. We pan for gold.
Yes,
you're absolutely right.
And it works every time. It has yet.
We're batting 1,000.
Yes, it has yet to not work, which is amen, hallelujah. Much more predictable and replicable than, hey, we're live. Start talking.
So we raffled off 2 of those at the Real Producers event. We had Rachel come in. I want to show, because you sent this off to our editing team. And did something cool with it, which was above and beyond what we've been typically doing with it.
Yes, and so we So you and Cruz raise the bar. What I loved is Cruz tells it like he copies off your paper or whatever, because he's into the whole thing while we're here. And I had no idea, because I had like 15 phone calls to return. And it's like, okay, I knew that you guys would kill it just on the conversation, because I mean, that's
I didn't realize he was shooting BTS too.
Right. Well, I thought that's what I thought he was doing was BTS. I didn't realize he set up the second vertical. So just to pull the curtain back and open the kimono. So what we do is it's a multi-camera shoot. So Austin right now is over there while we're live, and he's switching back and forth between whoever's talking. And so theoretically, the person who's talking is the only person on camera. And then every once in a while, you jump back to a 2-shot to actually, hey, look at this.
Then we book over to Tanner, and Tanner goes, hey.
Yes, and then Tanner starts talking. And then Austin loses his place, and then you go back to the 2-shot just to reset. That's kind of how this works. But in the realm of the subject matter expert, what we're doing is it's all hands on deck as far as all the cameras. And so it gives us multiple angles, and it serves for you to be, or me, or whomever is the on-camera question asker, just so the other person feels comfortable. Just so they're not like, hey, random person in the dark
talking into the abyss.
Right, throwing questions at me. So it accelerates that comfort level where the red light panic goes away. But you came up with a great idea. So the base level, the low bar of entry is we record as is. We record in 4K, but we just do what would be called a punch in. And it's essentially taking the 2-shot where it's 2 people on camera and punching into one person, basically with software. So it's...
it is a digital zoom.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
But that creates a little bit of like grain in the shot. You can see that it's zoomed in, right? Which has its own value in the sense that it looks like it's extracted from something larger.
Yes.
Right? Which is actually kind of what we're going for.
It actually paints that picture visually, and people would pick up on that whether they knew it or not.
Yes.
However, in the video fidelity sense, it is not exactly high definition. So if you were trying to come across at a certain level of price point or whatever, you want it to look fancy, you know, and you want it to be as shiny and as polished as humanly possible. And so we have that option, and we are totally able to do that. It involves more people, so it costs more money, you know? So that's how that, you know, it's always the minute you bring more people in, it costs more money. But to that, so you came up with the idea of, hey, what if I Frankenstein my gearhead, turn the camera, the DSLR, the kick-ass Sony, up on its side and record. I described it to somebody as it's like you took an iPhone and gave it growth hormone and steroids.
Yeah, it's really
and
fancy.
Then you because the iPhone is automatic, and one of the things that it is great at is auto adjusting and kind of figuring out what it's looking at, and giving you a software tweaked and shined up version of that versus the actual real camera that is like giving you, this is what it is.
It's and raw stuff. You dialed it in, this is what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. And the nice thing is when you guys dial it in and know what you're doing, because I'm the guy that shoots full auto, so that's this is not my thing. But it looks like $1 million, and the fact that you went down the rabbit hole and constructed that whole thing, well, then Cruz is like, oh, what is he doing? And I didn't know that. I thought he was just shooting BTS. And then later he says, oh no, I uploaded mine too, because I threw the footage in there after I cleaned up the audio. I threw the footage in, and I was like, dude, this looks like $1 million. And then Cruz was like, I uploaded mine.
I had no idea. I was wrapped in doing the interview. I had no idea he was doing any of that stuff. When you sent me the thing, that little promo on Saturday or Sunday, I was like, I didn't know any of those clips existed. So hats off to Cruz for just doing stuff,
just jumping in.
Yeah, like not being asked, and just like, this would be cool.
That's been that, you know, for all you kids out there that want to do this, that's been the hallmark of his participation level since day one. It's like I have to say, like, I don't know what I said to him that day to convince him to just jump off the dock and like, I think I can swim. But unbelievable. So to that, we had the 2 cameras turned on their side, shooting 4K, full resolution, high bit rate, dialed in. Looks way better than a phone. And so we send that to the editor, and not that flyer. Oh man. See?
You try so hard.
Yeah, I went left when I should have went right.
Yeah. So this is one of the examples from the subject matter expert interview we did on Friday, right?
Yes.
The difference here, and we sent it to post production. It does some.
It's
some
TikTokified.
text on top. Yeah, it's TikTokified.
Yeah,
right?
It's TikTokified.
Yeah, so it does some snap zooms,
music,
some
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, got some
so it is like literally ready to. It's oven baked, comes out of the oven ready to serve.
Yeah, looks fantastic.
Yes.
So good. So that's elevated. I mean, it's probably not, we can't execute this at the same price point that we typically do the SME interview, but it's great to see a really high quality,
well, and I don't know about you, but like for me, 99% of the time, the thing that really is the payoff for me is the idea worked. I couldn't tell you how many things that I invested however many, hours, the Malcolm Gladwell hours in the rabbit hole or whatever, to where I come out the other end and like, holy shit, that worked. I mean, the most, no, this wasn't like labor intensive as far as the hours go, but when we did the memorial, where
figuring out how the live stream, remote live stream.
And I mean, it took us, 3 days or whatever on different locations to get it dialed in and to make sure that it worked. But then actually getting the finished product and everything was, it's like that for me is the payoff. That's the thing. That's the dopamine hit. Where it's like, and so this same thing.
What is that? The P's, the perfect preparation prevents poor performance, or one of the. There's some sort of alliteration thing
Dude,
that talks about like leading up to the fact that we do all that front end work.
Dude, you already know I'm the alliteration guy. Where it's like,
I give you some alliteration.
Oh my god, yeah, I love it. It's funny too, because it becomes tongue twisters for a lot of folks. So tomorrow, the big reveal of the workshop.
Wednesday's the workshop.
Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday's the workshop.
Oh, okay,
Wednesday
never
and
mind.
Friday. God,
Wednesday.
I almost shit my pants just now. I believe it's tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I still got
excited. I was all excited for tomorrow.
No, we got Wednesday and Friday, the 13th and 15th.
Yes.
So,
okay. No, tomorrow's the promo. Tomorrow
we're shooting Real Producers promos.
Yeah. So this will be your first foray into
I've never done an off-site Real Producers promo thing. So this will be with like Jordan and Lance.
Yeah. So we will be at the venue in Arlington because Jordan and Lance have literally skyrocketed DFW Real Producers to
Fort Worth.
Yeah, to the upper echelon of the publishing company's universe.
Yeah.
So
they're on the radar.
Yes. And so much so that the actual first ever national convention for the entire publishing company is here. So that was the gimmick that they were talking about.
And Real Producers is based in California, Colorado? Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah. Yeah, the simple answer is not Texas.
Not Texas.
For some reason, I wanted to say Carolinas, but
okay.
I'm
whatever.
Totally making that up.
Not here.
Yeah,
we're saying
not here.
The fact that it's here is direct result of the success that Lance and Jordan
directly
have had.
attributed to Lance and Jordan just killing it. And every year I remember the first ESPYs was like, geez, I wonder if this will and then all of a sudden it's like a couple years later, we're at Irving Convention Center. It's like black tie. It's off the chain. There's pyro.
Let's go. If you make the Real Producers list, take advantage of the stuff that they're doing.
Yes.
Because those events are cool. They're raffling off huge stuff. Like they'll probably raffle off like $10,000
Oh my
worth
God!
of stuff.
Yes,
Last time
even just Tyler with black tie. I mean, he's giving away kick-ass Apple products.
Yeah,
and like high-end
AirPod
backpacks.
Pros and $1,000 gift certificate.
And
you're like, what?
and so it's light years beyond the typical. And I say this as former affiliate chairman and future affiliate chairman, that it's light years beyond the normal everyday sponsored event.
Yeah. And if you're looking to be a sponsor too, and you want to get in the right room with those people,
Reese Gentry's your boy.
Call Reese. He's great. And,
and the way that it is now all kind of, again, I use it's all come around the barn and dovetailed into this perfect synergistic loop of the way it works is you got to sell the houses or you're not invited.
Yeah, it is performance based.
Pure and simple. It is a binary. Did you make the list or did you not? Hip pockets don't count, et cetera, et cetera. It's just the numbers. Then the whole idea of if you're invited to be a sponsor, it's because somebody that made the list invited you.
Vetted sponsor.
Vouched for you.
You can't get in without somebody
right, because the
recommending
standard operating model has always been, just throw money at it and you're invited. And then, that allows for chaos. You have the folks that come in and they're just literally trying to hard close every person that they come in their little, personal space halo, which is not really a good way to get business.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I've always been behind the camera. And so I was just there.
Yeah. So for the past 6 years, we've just been here.
Yeah, we've just been there. But I could go back and look at the library of just all the different promos and all the different stuff. Each one of those has like a different set of memories. And I remember the first one coming back after COVID, which was bonkers. But now this national thing is going to be insane. And Colette's guy,
Isaac?
No, her branding guy, Rory Vaden. He's one of the speakers, and so, bam, massive.
They were dropping a bunch of names that will be there.
Yes, that's the only one I remember because Colette and Teresa both.
Tom Ferry will be there. Rory Vaden will be there.
That's right.
There was a Compass person that I know that will be there. Now here I go. I don't remember all the names. We'll get that list.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be it's a who's who.
Yeah, we'll put it in the comments
folks,
or something.
Or something. Probably not in the comments. When have we ever followed up with it's in the comments?
That's true. Yes. So we've got RP promo tomorrow. Wednesday and Friday is the rollout of
Video workshop.
Yes, your brand new oven fresh video workshop.
Yep. Still in the oven right now. I mean, every time I go down like a rabbit hole on like TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, like going through my reels, I see something and I'm like, oh, that has to be included. Like that piece has to be, that little nugget has to be there somewhere.
Well, like the thing you sent last night with the it's like, oh, cute girl on the internet. That never,
Oh yeah. What she's saying, this is a good, because we were talking about visual hooks. Like I do a whole thing in this video workshop about hooks. It's a big component of these 5 pieces that I want everybody to incorporate into their videos. But we only talk about like a hook script, and we don't talk about the visual hook. And Colette over at KW Go is big on visual hooks. And I kind of went down that rabbit hole over the weekend, looking at like all the different ways that we capture people's attention visually.
It's that 3-second rule.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So I'm like, well, now that has to be incorporated into this presentation. Right. So this is very much a working, breathing workshop.
And it got my gears turning Friday, where it was like, oh, what if, because you guys were killing it on the questions, because it's like, one, you knew her, and so Rachel, so you're easily steering it to where she's just going to crush, which is also part of the whole thing. That's part of the magic trick. But I started to think like, well, shit, if we're here doing this, what if we really went down the rabbit hole and pre-scripted the hooks, but we did the hooks in front of the psych wall where we did the green screen hooks. So that would probably be like the 3rd tier. So you would have like I'm thinking like, okay, for $300 an hour, you come in and we'll do the, you'll get a boatload of content that is just sort of heat and serve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then for 500 or above, we'll do something like this where it's really dialed in and there's post-production and it's never not full high res, super sharp, super clean. And then maybe for the next level after that, not only do we script where the interview is going to go, but then we would also create visual hooks for each segment.
Yeah. So and that's, you got to be, now that requires more effort on the client side.
Yes,
right.
Of course.
So we rely everybody put a little bit of skin in the game.
Yeah, it would not be for everyone.
Yeah,
it would be like, so say for example, if like the Lacey's or Courtney's or whatever of the world, somebody that is already more than comfortable just putting the phone on the gimbal and just going for it. Okay, well maybe they wanted something that was, I don't know, a quarterly message or some sort of evergreen content that was not shot on a phone, but had all of the elements of hook laden TikTok. Well, okay, we could absolutely do that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do it where it looks super cinematic and looks totally, Hollywood versus iPhone.
Yeah.
Even though both are equally valid in different ways.
Yeah, I think as you're thinking about your social media strategy as a whole, right? Like there's a place for this, and we need to use like the professional setting to complement all the other thing. Like there's a place for holding your phone and walking around. Like there's visual hook, a visual element of the walk and talk. That low quality brings authenticity. It makes people
the
feel
DIY thing
very relatable.
Yes.
Yeah, like so there's some places for that, and then there's definitely a time to tell that story in a more professional setting and put yourself as an authority. Just raise the authority bar a little bit by where you are.
Production value.
Production value.
It's real simple. Because you and I said that before, and I love the fact that you came in and you're with Austin, like little Kaizen, 1% better every day. Because for me, it was like, okay, once it works, and as long as the audio was stellar, I didn't care about the rest. The rest would be okay. And then I needed somebody like you to come in and be like, well, how about we did this? And then now, he's got it dialed in where it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It looks great. Yeah.
And we will take that and ramp that up probably next year with more cameras and more cinematic aspect. But I love the idea of, if you're wanting to be at a certain price point, act like it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's yes, of course, there's going to be the outlier that got to be a $1 million producer or whatever by being on their phone. You know, but that is not the business model. You know, for the most part, and then the whole podcast idea. You know, I mean, how often do we get somebody say, "Oh yeah, I want to do a podcast"? I want to. Everybody
all
wants
the
to
time.
do it. Yeah. So that one, let's see. Is it there?
One more.
There you go. One more. All right. At least I was going in the right direction.
Yep.
So this is our last little thing to, and so, oh man, we got more flyers for the workshop. So that I was working on that too over the weekend.
Yeah. You still print them in black?
No.
Rick printed double-sided, almost completely black flyers. So whoever, I don't know,
dude.
did they charge you extra for the ink?
It was like when he pulls it out, I was like, wow, that looks fantastic.
And he's like, oh yeah, this cost me $9.
Yeah. So it was like he's charging us like 70 cents a piece, and he's in the hole like $8.
Yeah.
No, the new ones are going to be white.
Okay.
Because of the location that we're going, and it'll be on social media, so everybody will see it. But we will remain Switzerland with the workshop idea, and we will kind of custom craft it for each location. But like here, the podcast idea is again low bar of entry because not everybody needs it to look like the Joe Rogan experience, where it's in the the mothership and there's $10,000 cameras or whatever, but. Just to go live, if you have the fuel in the tank, and hey, if you're like me, and you just like to hear yourself talk, it's like you can absolutely go live. And I would say nine times out of 10, it doesn't matter in the moment because 30 seconds later it's gone. So there's not a lot of preparation if you can handle the concept or the stress of being live. And so here the idea is, okay, for $1,000 a month, and like, okay, let's say it's a week with five, or the month with 5 weeks. Okay, well now you're really getting a deal. But we would do the show live, and it'll go out to, I think we can max out at 15 platforms, which nobody ever does, but we could.
I think 5 maybe I could think of that anybody would watch.
Yeah, and I think on a good day we'll hit 11 or 12, depending on who we have. So, but if somebody comes in and they're kind of loaded for bear as far as their footprint, okay, we can max it. But the idea being that you come in once a week, go live, we record that live switching just like Austin is doing now in 1080. So it's not 4K, it's not over the top, Hollywood. But we can also do the reels and stories where we essentially, boom, drop in the wood chipper, and out of a 30-minute podcast, again, you'll get 17 to 25 clips every week.
So similar to that subject matter expert thing, but every week with consistency.
Yes. And it would the weekly show is the absolute king of all, king of kings when it comes to, you want a mountain of content, because it's like, dude, you see what my feed looks like, where the VAs are just, and it's like they haven't even.
Try to find something you did last week.
Right.
You scroll forever.
It's, and then I've got it where it all overlaps, and it's like, okay, it cross posts over to here, and it's like I look at it sometimes, I'm like, oh my god. But the upside of that is, and you have seen this in person too, where we go to like one of the ARM meetings or whatever, and the first thing is like, oh my god, you're everywhere.
You're everywhere, yeah, or you're famous.
Yeah. So I saw over the weekend, I saw somebody that I hadn't seen in, I don't know, probably 2 years in person. And they were like, oh my God, I follow you, and it's like so interesting, and you do so much interesting stuff. And, on the one hand, I'm like, well, that's what it looks like, but there's no effort from us to do that. It's just, we end up being everywhere. We sit down, we do the thing, and then the thing gets chopped up, sliced up.
Yeah.
And
so like out of this little call, if we put it through the meat grinder and came out, we'd have, if we dripped this one podcast out every other day, we'd probably have enough for a month of content.
2 weeks for sure.
Few weeks of content just from this little 30 minute
and so
chat.
that is the low bar of entry here. And then of course we could ramp this up too, where like, okay, so you want a specialized show, you want it dialed in, you want it in 4K, so like, for example, Teresa's show. Again, now she is the outlier in that, holy mackerel, the prep is off the charts.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
She has the
she's got her cards all
she's got the
out.
preparation, she's got the skill set, and she's got the charisma and personality. So those three things, that confluence of events, gives you top shelf, solid gold, home run content every single time. And then she'll bring in somebody to interview. So like with her, okay, the gimmick is we set it up, it's a single camera, and she just does her topic. And she has found that 8 to 12 minute sweet spot that is captivating, engaging, never loses momentum. So that's the other thing. So it's like everybody's got to find their kind of wheelhouse. And then with the interviews, she just goes until she runs out of questions or they kind of come to a natural stop. But like there, she doesn't go live. So what we do is we record all cameras, and then we actually professionally post-produce the whole thing. So her interviews are spectacular because we've got 3 or 4 cameras recording. So we've got multiple sources, and then the audio's good. You know, and so put all those things together, and it looks like $1 million. So that's an option too, but it costs more than $1,000.
Yeah, but $1,000 a month, once a week. I'm looking for somebody that can commit to 13 weeks, so 3 months of this.
I like it.
We will, in order to get started, give us a call and let's do a consult. Let's talk about what you're trying to do. Let's shape out the first couple episodes. You know, this is a commitment, and we're putting a lot of effort on our end, on the back end. So we want to make sure that whoever we sign up here is going to be a partner for the next few months, and we want
get her going.
Some skin in the game.
Yes.
Let's go. So,
I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's it for me. I got nothing. I got to run to I'm going to Duncanville and then back to Richardson.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
All right. I thought Cruz was gonna handle it for me, but I got a call over the weekend. I think it's got some issues to deal with, and I just want to do some. There's some stuff trash in the play. It looks like it's got some readiness to work on, some shoot around.
So.
And not that Cruz he's perfectly capable of handling it, but I think I'm just going to take some hand holding.
Oh, yeah, I totally get it. And there's an element of, you know, we've been to the rodeo.
Yeah.
And I mean, if people actually knew some of the shoots where like what was behind me.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, we're gonna have to finagle this one. It's for an important client. It's not one of their best houses. I mean, our agents sell all across the spectrum, and we support them when it's not the most beautiful property.
Well, all right then. I will leave you to that.
All right.
All right.
Y'all take care.
I'm gonna work on flyers.
All right. Later. Happy Monday.